Oh, yeah, I got a bunch of frames dropping. Yeah, so something's fucked up my computer. We're just gonna go for it anyway. So here we are, guys.
Coming through good.
So
You got something that you could shut down, maybe? Shut down?
no.
You don't have Photoshop open currently, do you?
No, I closed it, but yeah. Oh boy, so I got the little thing on my mouse cursor permanently, so that's cool.
Oh no.
Oh, Sirenscape not responding. Good. Oh yeah, that's good.
It's all going to plan.
That's good. Let me close that down. So guys, yeah, so if we just totally drop out, it's yeah, we'll just get it back. No big deal.
It's all Danny's fault.
It is my fault, 100%. Let me reload Sirenscape. So what's going to happen is I'm going to close this. You're going to miss all of our faces for a second.
I heard daddy, though, not Danny.
Daddy-o.
It's all Daddy-o's fault.
Not wrong. You're not wrong. All right, now we should be back up and running. All right. So, the Ramada Inn.
Yes.
You know what I should sell as fucking Patreon content? Just the pregame of us all talking shit so people can tune in and hear all the fucking nonsense. Oh, God. But anyway.
We are not sponsored by the Ramada Inn.
We're gonna get sued by the Ramada Inn.
This is totally getting a DMCA. Fuck.
Oh God! Wait, let's switch it up. Yeah, the Mayans can't fucking sue us, so fuck.
Actually,
them.
that's good. No, keep doing that. Like, Hampton's gonna show up and be like, "We're gonna sponsor you, fuck Ramada."
No, put Ramada down right now.
Have your quinceañera or your 16.
But it's only the Ramada Inn or the Hampton Inn that has the Denny's next to it. Those are the best ones. What the fuck is up, Denny's?
Yeah. Can we get a sponsor from Denny's? Like, straight up. I'll start playing from a Denny's parking lot. Come on.
I'll just change the title to every episode as Grand Slam, and that's it.
Moon's over my hammy.
Oh, it's, yeah, just puns. All right, here we are. We're gonna play some D&D, hopefully, and it's probably gonna crash. So whatever. I'm just gonna try and not touch as much as possible. So
we're gonna force you onto Foundry. So we're gonna force that crash.
fair. At least we know it's coming, right? At least we know it's coming. All right. So where do we leave off? We were in the tavern. What ails you? Our buddy. Lovable Craghorn was getting everybody their foods and their drinks and their soups.
Yes,
and
there was pork being eaten by Yezin.
Yep.
There were pickled pig's feet being consumed by Nibbletooth. So
yeah, and then you were explaining the effects of pickling on your whatever you are, your body.
Yeah, it's almost the same as consuming alcohol.
Even better, cheap date.
Yeah.
And then Lyra had another what do we say? Vision episode. Yeah, we'll say episode. Lyra had an episode. And yeah, so you saw who did you see? I'll tell you who you saw. So in the middle of the table, a serpent, sand, and then eventually the face of a greasy tabaxi that you come to know as Galen Drench. Snick, when you said that name, recognized that name, and I think the last thing Snick said was, "I got a bullet with that guy's name on it," and that was the last thing. That was the last thing said before we faded to black. So, I think we'll pick up right there.
Oh, I threw my soup on the child.
Oh yeah, by the way,
child was being a dick.
Yeah, by the way,
get out of here.
The that name like this is the voice you hear in your head when it when you're seeing the vision. Yeah, so we'll go from there. As they say, the world is yours.
All right.
Theo's sitting there just like this.
Are you okay?
Are you?
I was.
He looks over.
I was speaking to Lyra, but you know,
Okay.
I'll get around to seeing if you're all right as well.
Yesin finishes like his bowl and like, who the fuck is Galen Drench?
Nick is just like kind of staring off, rummaging in her bag. I'm gonna slam 3 gold on the table and go, find me at the orphanage. When everyone's done and when you're ready, I have to get something ready. And then I will tell you who Galen Drench is. And I'm just gonna jump up on the table, jump off, and run out the door.
Like a little mouse.
Ugh.
Is there
No,
when she hits the ground?
That's a-
She's gone. Yesin's just like, there's an orphanage?
Yes.
I didn't think she was that young.
I don't think she's
She
that young
is
either.
kind of small.
I can't.
Are we irresponsible letting a child play with guns?
No
I
one
don't-
stopped her.
No, I think she's probably older than we assume she is.
Why did she live in an orphanage?
I think she considers herself probably one of the protectors of the orphanage. She seems to have a very good relationship with the woman that runs the place.
Oh, I see.
That would make sense.
Right. Oof.
But
What?
Maybe she works there.
I think she probably grew up there and just decided to stay.
Or that.
And now she's protecting the place.
Well, I guess our next point of order is probably following.
As you're saying stuff like that, the next table over, you could hear they're just like, oh, silters.
Hey! Fuck you!
And then everyone's just like looking around like, oh, who said that? I don't know.
Yezin's gonna like also put his share of the money down and like gets up and like I guess we're gonna go find the orphanage. And as he walks past the table that says like "All Selters," he's gonna just like stumble and knock over their drinks. Like, oh, I'm so sorry.
There's just like a bunch of elves just like, oh my goodness, barbaric.
Oh, you got it all over your shirt, and he just like smears it more on. Like, oh, I'm not helping at all.
Like as you're smearing it, they're prestidigitating the trail off, so you're just like fresh smearing, and like you just see the gross trails like chasing your hand around as it's trying to get it all off.
Yes, and she might need some time. Maybe we wait a little bit before we follow.
Well, then where else are we supposed to go?
I'd like to eat. And he's going to continue his.
We've been here for too long, and you haven't eaten yet.
We were talking.
You gotta learn to do both.
You can order a souffle as everyone's trying to pay.
Yeah, right.
Theo's that guy. He's that guy. Thought we had time.
Yes, I'd love to see the dessert menu.
They bring out that like dessert menu with all the fake like rubber ice creams and stuff, and you're like,
What do you recommend? I just can't decide. You pick, waiter.
Craghorn's just like looking at the fake desserts. He's like, well, not these, because these aren't real. So definitely not these.
Theodore loves it here.
It's shenanigans with all the goofy shit on the wall.
Welcome to shenanigans.
So as you guys are chatting and talking, Snick is running across, not too far across town, but through a district from the bazaar. back into Old Town, right in the middle. The orphanage is directly dead center between Old Town and Scab Town and Flea Bottom in the sector of Old Town. And by now it's pretty dark out. It's probably like 9 or 10 by the time this all goes down. And so the other moon is up, coming through the sky. Like I said, and when I mean like the sun doesn't go down all the way, it's still pretty dark out. Like for all intents and purposes, you can consider it nighttime. It's just that like faint glimmer, so you can still just say like, oh, it's not fully dark out. But it's still difficult to see unless you don't have dark vision, which I think you do anyway.
Yezin does continue to follow. He's already paid. He's like, I've already made a fool of myself. I gotta go.
Fair. How fast are you? Well, how did you follow directly right out as she ran off?
Probably like a minute later.
Okay. So the first minute, so you see the you come up to the orphanage, and it's pretty ramshackled. Just you can see how, like, as people have donated woods and stones and things like that, they've just kind of put them wherever they can go. It's almost like a really bad Lego set where all the Lego colors get mixed together, and it's just like, ooh. Just, oh, is this the Wild West or Star Wars? I don't know what's going on. And you see just the front door's open, which isn't too... Sometimes Gertrude leaves the front door because she's old. She forgets. Yeah, the front door's open.
Yezin walks up and like kind of like closes the door enough so he can like knock on it and not seem like a weird dude.
Well, this is for Snick, so Snick runs up and sees this.
Oh, okay. I thought it was all.
I thought you were talking to me.
Oh no, that's my fault. That's 100% my fault. This is what Snick sees first, as because you got the head start. So as you run up, that's what you see. You see the front door a little ajar.
All right, I'm just gonna walk in and look to see if anyone is up or if Gertrude is puttering about.
You don't see her. Most of the kids are asleep by now because they kind of police themselves. Like most little, oddly enough, the kids aren't too scummy. You know how some kids are just like little scumbags that want to stay up, but everybody kind of respects Gertrude enough in her kind of floopiness to play by the rules.
Okay, so then I'm going to run up to my room and I'm going to pull out the weaponry chest and I'm just going to start laying out bullets, grenades, bombs. And I'm just like laying out my arsenal to see what I've got.
Okay, so as you run upstairs, your room is at one end of the hall and Gertrude's is at the other, and you could see her door is like kind of open with a little bit of light from the lamp shining out into the hallway, and you could hear, I don't want to say ruffling, but you could hear movement in that other room, so you know she's down there. Well, you know someone is in that room down there. You'd assume it's her.
All right, let me pit stop. All right, I'll go there first and just lightly tap on the door. Gertrude, I'm home.
You just hear that. Oh, yeah. Oh. And then you just hear, yes.
You okay?
Oh, I'm fine. And you could hear the broom starting to sweep now, like shh.
Can I come in?
Sure, yes, sure.
I'm gonna push the door open.
Just chug my milk. One moment.
So you push the door open, and you see Gertrude sitting there, and over in the corner, you see a figure kind of just sitting in a chair that looks like maybe sleeping, but it's definitely not an orphan because it's a larger figure, but like kind of slumped over on the side, which you'd assume is sleeping.
Gertrude, who's that?
It's just my friend. She's just sleeping.
Are her cheeks turning red?
Make a perception check.
I can do this. Assuming my stats are actually where they need to be. Nope. Definitely not.
So we got a 4. Yeah, so it's a little dark in there. It's kind of hard to see.
Is he causing problems? You need me to throw him out?
Oh, no. It's fine. It's fine. She just continues to sweep.
I'm gonna inch closer to the dude or the person slumped on the chair. Who are you?
No answer.
I'm gonna kick his foot.
But moves and no answer, and Gertrude's kind of going down the hall sweeping.
Gertrude!
What?
Get your little lady ass back in this room.
I just start some tea for the children in the morning.
You know the kids don't like tea.
It's milk and tea and chocolate.
I'm gonna check for a pulse on the slumped over body.
It's pretty stiff. Yes.
Oh god.
It's a stiff pulse.
Yeah. So now that you're closer and you're inspecting the person, you notice they seem to be dressed like the bandits that were chasing the ship. They have the same pretty much outfit on.
Oh. All right, I'm gonna run out to Gertrude, and I'm just gonna rip the broom from her hand. How did that get in there?
As soon as that happens, Yezin, you come to the front door.
Knock, knock, knock.
Gertrude, go into the door.
He materializes a new broom and just starts sweeping towards the front door. She comes to the front door and you see it creak open. Yes?
Is there a snake here? I think I got the right place. I'm very, very lost right now.
She's upstairs, and she kind of walks past you, going back out the door and is sweeping the front area where it's just sand.
This is like the 8th door I knocked on. I'm very glad I got the right one this time.
You could hear Yezin's voice kind of reverberating through the hallway from upstairs because it's real thin walls.
All right, I'm gonna scamper down. Hey, what's up? What are you doing? Why are you here?
You told us to find you here when we were done.
Yeah, I didn't think that'd be look at the time. You should go to bed. I mean, no, it's fine. It's fine. Sorry, I'm dealing with a thing at the moment. I'm gonna
help with the thing?
I'm gonna climb up on the table and pull him closer so I can whisper in his ear. There is a corpse upstairs, and it looks like the bandit that we killed earlier. One of the bandits we killed earlier, and I don't know why it's in her room.
Oh, why didn't you say so earlier? I mean, corpse removal's pretty quick.
We have to be quiet. There are children present. But also, I don't know why it's here.
Is it in your room?
No, it's in Gertrude's. She's ancient. You heard the dude. She's basically a corpse. I don't know how she won't tell me why there's a dead body in her room.
Gertrude? That's her name, right? You said Gertrude?
Yeah.
Yes? Yeah. His sweeping turns around.
Why is there a dead body in your room?
Who? What? He's fine.
Gertrude, I need you to be honest with me. We've been friends.
Can I do an insight?
Totally. Totally.
I'm pretty sure my insight is not great.
You could actually both do insight checks.
Okay.
It's gonna go well.
Mm-hmm. Okay, better.
14 and 9.
14 and 9. Snick, he's totally not okay. And that's
totally.
She said, "Oh, he's fine." Yeah, no, he's totally not okay.
Yeah.
Gertrude, I know he's dead. What happened? I need you to be honest with me. So if I need to hide a body, I need to know why I'm hiding the body for you.
Takes a big breath in. fine, come with me. She like puts her thing, she like drops her, like tosses her broom aside, and it kind of dissipates. And now she went from this like old, haggard, like wrinkly, like borderline, not a lot going on left, you know, lights are on, nobody's home, to very like stoic, almost like the wrinkles went away, and that like little hitch she always had, now she just kind of bustles past everybody, and with like a purpose. And as that happens, we'll go back to what ails you. So as we come back, you just see Teddy's got all the desserts lined out. You're just trying everything, and they're really, really, really just insane flavors that because you know, back in the material plane, you're used to the normal things, and you know, steak and potatoes, but these fruits are just literally otherworldly.
Oh, divine. Yeah, he's just going to town enjoying himself.
Yeah, dude, I told you.
Yeah, you weren't kidding. These are delightful.
Yes, enjoy them all. They're tasty, aren't they?
Yes.
Yeah, dude, the ice cream's not cooked, little man.
Why would it be cooked?
You said you didn't like cooked things, dude.
Well, yes, but it's also not flesh. It's
Think of it as like
frozen milk, basically.
Yeah, dude, it's like liquefied cow goo, man.
No, not really.
I don't like that. I don't like that.
No, not
I
at
don't
all.
like meat. I mean, you know.
It's no, it's no, it's distasteful. It would be. It's like drinking pus, literally.
Well, you should trust him. I mean, he's quite the connoisseur. This is delightful.
So,
Just a little taste.
no, thank you. I don't think my stomach could handle it. Plus, I'm enjoying the pickled pig's feet.
Deal. Okay, dude. That's fine.
Lear's like drawing in her new notebook here, just like kind of like dry heaving as he's saying all this stuff.
The liquefied pus.
Yeah. And you see her just kind of sketching, and then she pulls out her notebook and she shows her party members of a drawing of Galen Drench.
Hold on. Of
Who?
why did it work? Oh, you know why?
Crashes.
Because it crashed. We're just gonna leave that alone.
Whatever.
That's right.
Ruined. Time
That's
to
probably
go
what
home.
crashed your computer.
Yeah.
That probably is. All right, yeah, we'll just pretend that didn't happen. All right, yeah, Galen Drench. It's sound effect.
So she holds up like this picture of this greasy tabaxi, and
Oh, it's
this is Galen Drench.
Yes. Who is this? And what has it done to them? She's a mouse. Do cats hunt mice here? Like cat people hunt mice people? Is that a thing?
sure. I don't see why it would be.
This
I
is
mean, they
clearly
are
why she-
predators. It's
Genetic racism. Fascinating. Are there dog people to chase the cat people?
I've never actually seen a canine race here. It's curious. Maybe that's why she's so upset about it.
How do you know this cat?
Should be back up.
Okay.
Oh, it didn't boot me actually.
You might have to hit F5 to
hit
refresh.
the refresh.
Okay.
I'm on a Mac. There's no such thing as F5.
Okay, now I'm fucking... I gotta reset everything. Now my fucking shirt's going away. All right.
Yeah, take it off.
He's getting sweaty about it now.
Boom, boom.
Ew.
A little bit of thunder, a little bit of lightning. I like this lighting because it makes me look like I'm kind of jacked, but I'm really not.
You got to cover up your arm. We can't have dicks on stream.
Oh, touche. Yeah, so it's saying I'm dropping a ton of frame rates because of my data output to bit rate is fucked. So I'm dropping 48% of my bits. So there's something wrong with the stream. But here we are. Let's try it again.
Drop Foundry, man. Kill it.
Let me see if I put it in the background, if that helps at all. Yeah, there's something really chewing up my frames for something. It's not like I have a weak ass fucking graphics card.
Oh yeah, roll new characters.
All right,
Caffeine got it.
We're gonna keep it.
Lyra is a
I'm Nimbletooth.
Oh, okay,
And
no, I get switched
Nimbletooth
out.
Lyra.
A swap. It's a swap. We're doing it. Roll with
Yeah.
this.
I have
Exactly
to
how it is,
do.
guys. That's it.
I'm gonna RP Nimbletooth.
Hell yeah, you are.
All
Who
right,
am
that
I?
should-
I
that
can't
should
see
do
you.
it.
You're Yezin.
All right.
Yeah.
How dare you call me a... Oh, wait, that's the wrong voice. How dare you... I don't know.
How dare you?
Look, every
How
week
dare
I'm
you
like
call me
doing
a
like
siltster?
a different like Southern accent, and they're all bad.
That's the character, though.
That's it.
What's real about them? No one knows.
This doesn't make sense. I have 6K bitrate, but it's losing 50% of the frames. It doesn't make sense. Anyway, who cares, right? We'll just play some Dungeons and Dragons.
Anywho.
So where do we leave off?
You're gonna have to stitch this together.
Yeah, that's no big deal. I'll just like put a big edit with a fucking Galen Drench in the middle of it.
The attacks.
We were back at the What Ails You. And
We're past whatever scene that fucking was, because I don't want to hear anything more about like
Dog people?
Yep, don't answer it.
about the cow milk juice or whatever you called it.
the pus.
Yeah. Sweet pus.
God.
Yeah, so what do you guys want to do?
Disgust.
It might be a delicacy somewhere, but
Yeah, can I get you guys anything else? You dudes look like you've eaten a lot.
Oh, yeah, no. This is plenty for me. Thank you.
Can I get a box
but what do you need a box for?
Like,
for
like
my
crate?
leftovers?
Oh, okay, dude.
Actually, no, you know what? I'll just take water.
A water to go?
I'll get a water thing.
Yeah, I'll take a water to go. Thank you.
Oh,
I'll take a water. Thanks.
You just
you usually get your own water where you're going. You want to take their water and take it with you.
Feel the skin.
he just kind of produces water with his hands and whoosh, fills you up.
That's a thing that they do.
You guys good, dudes? You need anything else?
No, we've got enough water for the road. We're good to
Deal.
go.
Well, it's been great. So if you dudes want to just pay up, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, you've been great. Yes.
Oh, stop.
Yes. What's customary to leave as a gratuity?
Oh, that's up to you, dudes. I'm. Oh, great. Sirenscape just crashed. Whatever.
No. Really?
I think
'Cause
it's
I can hear
something that. I know, me too. That's the thing. But the controller just shit the bed.
Me.
It's scary. It is scary. But the stream hasn't started. At least not on my end. I don't know why.
Galen Drench.
The curse of Galen Drench.
I want to hit the button so goddamn bad.
Oh, that's what broke your whole thing.
Wait, they're starting to talk again. No, I don't know.
What is?
The chat, the stream chat.
Oh, okay.
Wait.
But yeah, dudes, if you tip in gratuity, that's totally on you. I'm pretty much just a figment of your imagination. I'm just magic. I'm not real. You could see all of us. We're just kind of constructs of. Oh yeah, dude.
Oh.
Vera
Theodore's
goes to
visibly
put her
upset.
hand through him.
Theodore, like, this was like gonna be his best friend here.
Well, you see one way over in the corner. You're like, it's all right, dude. I'm the regular one, man.
Oh, okay.
I know what all of them know, so listen, we're cool.
Yes.
Okay, so Nimbletooth reaches in and he leaves because he's not going to be outdone by Snick. He's going to put down 4 gold pieces. So there you go. Fine service and wonderful food. Since I didn't finish the entire jar of pickled pig's feet, I could take it to go, right?
Yeah,
Since that's
dude.
a thing.
You bought the whole jar.
Well, wonderful. I have something to eat on the way to the
You have-
orphanage.
you have a
Probably a good
little-
idea.
You have a little echo going on.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it's from the.
Interesting.
Now it's good.
Better.
And what do I owe you, sir?
Whatever you want, dude. It's like what did you
Whatever
have
you
here? It's like a gold and a half worth of food. So whatever, that plus whatever you want.
He'll put down 3 gold.
Awesome, dude. Thanks.
Well, thank you for the marvelous service.
As you going to walk out, he sneaks a little hand pie into your little coat there. He's just like, take that one for me, dude.
Thanks, dude.
All right, everybody. Remember, whenever something's wrong, come back to what ails you.
We will be sure to come back.
Oh, yes, we'll definitely be back. Thank you so much.
You could hear up on the 3rd tier, somebody's getting the birthday song sung to them.
Nice. And just for our information, is there lodging here as well? Or is it just food?
Yeah, dude, this is just food. You could sleep here, but it usually doesn't end up too well.
Oh. They'll roll your body, I suppose.
They'll just throw you outside.
Oh, well, it's fine.
Yeah.
To be expected. All
Yeah,
right.
this is a tavern. It's not an inn, dude.
Yes, this is a classy establishment, Nimbletooth.
Yes. I'm learning this as we go. So, all right. Fresh air and orphans.
Does anyone know where this orphanage is?
Oh yeah, I could point us. I could point us there.
Oh, good.
Yeah, you have been there, so you kind of have a pretty good idea where it's at.
Yeah, just follow my nose.
All right.
All right, so as the doors shut behind you and we set off into the night, we'll go back to the orphanage.
Oh, there we go. Oh,
Eob's looking out for cats on the way.
No cats yet, but yeah. So back at the orphanage, Gertrude had brisked past you with a newfound levity, just kind of moving without that old hitch in her step that she always had, and moving pretty quick. And she's heading back up to her room.
Right? I guess we'll just follow her.
What the fuck is going on?
I don't know. I have lived here for a decent amount of time. I have no idea.
Yezin follows her, and I believe Zvik is right behind too.
Yep. Yeah. So she's kind of in her room, just tending to kind of cleaning up the blood marks, because now the blood is starting to pool a little bit by the dude's feet.
Her room's over here. Is the door open? Is she not trying to hide it anymore?
She's just trying to get it dealt with as quick as possible now, because it's the jig is up.
Okay. So, all right, and go into that room.
You can see.
What happened?
It would seem one of the bandits here, the Children of Ash, were snooping around, and he fell.
I wanna look at the body and see if like how he died.
There's marks. So on the you know what? You could either do an investigation or perception, whichever one, or something else if you want to sell me on it. Medicine check, even if you want to do a medicine check. Depends how you're doing it.
Let's see. My perception is probably better.
That's a 12.
Yeah, tell me what you roll, because I'm terrified to open Foundry.
I got a 12 total.
12. So it's fairly plain to see. So you can see that there's in his like banditry outfit, he has like one of those like vests on. You could see where there's a cut mark that should be a hole in him, but there's no wound on his body itself. So like the clothing is damaged and bloody, like there was a stab wound, but there's no wound to his body itself.
Well, most certainly it looks like he fell onto some sort of bladed weapon. But it looks like he got better from it real quick. This is all kind of fucked up. Is this how all orphanages are like? Are you training these little kids to be some sort of super assassins?
Not anymore.
Not anymore?
Not anymore.
Wait, who was the last assassin child you trained?
I wouldn't use the word assassin, but it's for all intensive purposes, I suppose assassin could be used as one of those words.
So wait, backtracking. Okay, dead dude, fine. You can walk normal?
Oh yeah.
So all this has been a lie?
Sort of. Kinda.
You've been hiding secrets from me, and I thought we didn't have any secrets. I tell you everything.
I know, but I promised your parents that I would make sure. I promised your parents that I would do what I could to keep these people away from the orphanage. So when they see a senile old woman, they go the other way.
Like little mouse hyperventilating.
I just picture like hearing little squeaks like
Well, are we disposing of this body? Is that what has to happen right now?
I mean, ideally.
Okay. Zvik.
Yep.
That new thing that we can do, and like Yezin starts like shoving the body into like the head area as you start to see like more like steam and like flames coming out of it. Like, yeah, there we go.
Yeah,
it'll be taken care of in a little while.
Yeah, so you get most of it in, and it's like your physical, like Zeke is like smashing his hands on his head to break it up a little bit to get it in there, you know, like, you know, when you're like stuffing a bag full of leaves and you're really like just jamming on it. So he's doing that. So you see this like contorted like hand and arm sticking out and a leg going the wrong way, but mostly everything else is still in his head. So Zeke's just like, hey.
Like a fucking reindeer.
A really fucked up reindeer.
Now remember what we learned. Incinerate.
He just starts like trying to bear down, and you could it stinks because you're burning a body alive.
Okay, do you have like a backyard real quick or somewhere that's very well ventilated?
So as that starts to happen, and Zvik had started bearing down, the rest of the group comes to the front of comes towards the front. Actually, yeah. So Nimbletooth smells a really extra disgusting smell, like just burnt flesh and just
follow your nose.
It just is terrible of a smell that Nimbletooth would know. But yeah, you see the front door kind of ajar because everybody just keeps leaving the door open because they're just like, we gotta figure out what the fuck is going on here.
This is the terrible. Hold on a second. I need to recover from the wretched stench. And he kind of drops down, just knowing that he doesn't want to walk in looking the way he does. So so he pulls the cloak over, or he pulls a jacket and he covers his head and he starts rummaging in his bag. And a couple of seconds later,
you feel Theodore's hand on your back.
Are you okay?
I'll be fine. Hold my hair.
He does.
Yes. And then, okay, thank you. Yes. Okay, let's go in.
Who do we see?
What do you look like right now?
Yeah.
Travis.
Oh.
Travis is the tweener kid coming in.
I love that it catches Theo off guard every fucking time. So yeah, as you guys start going up the stairs, you see Zveek kind of trying to tiptoe down the stairs, and the stench is just unfucking bearable.
What is that smell?
Oh, I know what it is.
It's like a barbecue.
Yeah, Zveek, get into the backyard. Yezin looks down the stairs as he's trying to get Zveek out and sees them.
Smell of charred flesh.
There's some fucked up shit going on right now. I was not prepared for.
You see a foot and a hand just starting to smolder and the skin peeling back in Zveek's head.
Inside the city walls. You can't do that here.
Well, I didn't kill him. Get in here, close the door. Real quick,
He quickly does, turning the hat to get in the door and gets in there.
This is tonight is the first time I've ever been in this orphanage, and it's also the first time that I found out that this orphanage is raising tiny little assassins.
Is that an orphan?
No, it's one of the bandits.
Oh.
Where's Snick?
Upstairs. So there's this old lady that runs the orphanage, Gertrude.
With the cookies. The cookies.
Yeah. It turns out she's some sort of super assassin teacher, and she's training all these little kids. I don't know. Go upstairs and talk to Snick. I'm really confused. I'm still really kind of drunk right now, and now I'm burning a body.
It's a shame that the body needed to be burned.
I need some water. Oh, God, I gotta go find some water.
Lyra's kind of sprinting up the stairs, but she's not sure what direction to go in, so she's kind of running.
Up the stairs to the right, I think. The right. It's the door.
To the top of the stairs,
Yeah. You see an open room at the far end, and then you see at the other end another open room with. Are you still there with Gertrude, Snick?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you see them at the other end.
So she runs in their direction.
Yeah, Theodore's going to follow you, and he ran into the back of you when you stopped at the top of the steps.
Nimbletooth's outside, looking at the body.
What a shame.
There's still a leg sticking out. You can have that if you want.
No, it's been warmed up.
It's gone. It's gone.
Oh, my champagne! It was still in there. We've all lost something tonight. It's bad.
Lost my innocence.
As Zveek comes outside, that plume, and it pretty much now it's almost like toast that's on fire, so it's just billowing black smoke. He gets out into the sand and just goes into the sand. You just see as the plume of black smoke is trying to puff through the sand. It's almost like watching an old Lionel train with a little steam engine of the smoke coming out of the sand, because he's just trying to spread it around. But yeah, so as you guys are outside, we'll cut back upstairs with in Gertrude's room.
So Lyra kind of barges in. She's like, to Snick, what is going on? And she looks at Gertrude and, hi, who are you? She hasn't met Gertrude yet.
You start to see little kids, just from your perception, like start to peek out from their like little rooms. They're all like stacked up, looking through the doorways down the hall at Gertrude's room.
Theo tries to be nonchalant as the kids look at him.
Hey.
Hey, hello, Snick.
Hi.
What is Yezin doing?
Burning a body. Well, I guess Zeke is technically the one burning the body, but you know what I mean.
Whose body?
A bandit. She's like not making eye contact. She's just kind of like 1,000 yards staring.
Oh, hello, ma'am.
Just nods.
Gertrude.
Lady. My lady.
Lady.
Gertrude has since started smoking one of those really long cigarettes, like the holder with the cigarette way at the end.
Virginia's Slim 120.
Yeah, exactly.
Lipstick all over it.
Eggs, yeah, but then on the holder, like that, the black long holder.
Extra.
Yeah, so it's a 53-foot long cigarette.
So, how do you know my parents? You told me that I was found on the doorstep.
Oh, shit.
So you have been lying to me for 19 years?
That was not a lie. You were placed on the doorstep.
Do you know how many other problems I have right now for you to drop this bomb on me? Galen Drench is apparently back in town.
Galen Drench. Just hear Lyra's echo.
I don't. He may be back in town. I don't know if he is or not because I've been at the orphanage. All right.
Who is Galen Drench?
She kind of just points to Snick.
All right. We will talk in the morning. I'm going to take everyone to my room and explain. I need to process that you know my parents. And you know what? No, I'm just not even. Oh, talk to you. Oh, no, rummage my bag. I bought you yarn. Hand her all the skeins of yarn.
Takes all the
yarn.
yarn.
And then just go. All right, come on, guys. We're just going to go to my room. Good night, Gertrude.
Good night.
Yezin comes back in now, knowing that like Zveek is like, all right, he's taking care of it. He's all set back there. He's happier than a pig in shit in the backyard.
As you said goodnight, Gertrude, she actually like clears her throat. She's like, my name is Jamora.
Good night, Jamora.
Theodore's just standing against the wall like, what the fuck?
There's just an audible. I thank you for adding to the years of trust issues that I thought I was finally over. We'll talk in the morning.
My trauma never ends.
And then I'm just going to kind of shuffle everyone into my room, but I have to undo all the padlocks first.
Nice to meet you, ma'am. He just follows Snick.
Kind of nods over.
It's a lot of locks on your door.
Yeah, I don't like the kids to get into the room because there's explosives in my room.
Safety first. Got it.
Yeah.
Well, what if these kids all need some assassin weapons to come in here and do their thing? I thought you were one of them.
These kids are assassins?
I don't know. Am I an assassin?
She'll look at the kids down the hall again.
I mean,
Gertrude literally said that she was raising assassins.
I'm gonna pop my head out. Am I an assassin?
He just nods no from down the hall.
I mean,
I'm not an assassin.
You killed pretty efficiently.
Oh, cause my creations kill efficiently. I don't kill efficiently. Like,
People don't kill
created
people.
does it
Guns
for
kill
me.
people.
Yeah, that sounds pretty serial killer like.
Yeah.
It's not something I do every day.
Is it always like this here?
No. No.
No.
Is everyone in the room?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Apparently,
he
yeah.
was shuffling
If
in.
Yezin is in, then Nimble Travis would be in as well. Nimble Travis.
Nimble Travis.
Who the fuck
Well,
is
sure.
this? Is this one of the kids?
He's with me. He's with me. It's fine.
Travis.
Where did
too.
Nimbletooth go?
Are
Still
the,
wearing the same thing.
are the kids?
I told you, he's a shapeshifter.
Are the
Yes,
kids
well,
still-
the last time I came here, I had to change my appearance to seem less threatening.
Sure thing, little dude.
I'm gonna look at the orphans. Go to bed.
They all slam
Well,
the door.
Apparently, they have nothing to fear from me being assassins and all.
They're not assassins. There are many things these kids are not. They are not assassins.
What
Are you
is-
sure?
What is happening?
Who killed who killed what Zvik just took care of?
Gertrude.
Jamora?
Yeah.
Well,
Okay. We're not.
Well, I'm gonna need Jamora them cookies if we're gonna have this conversation.
I've
Yeah,
got candy. Okay, so let's backtrack because I
Peter's
don't
gonna
even
take
know.
a seat.
yes.
Yes,
let's-
get comfy.
Yes,
Don't
yes.
don't sit in that corner
Mhm.
because about 70% of that might explode. So you
Okay.
just avoid that corner. Everywhere else, everything
Peter
is
sits
relatively
the
locked up.
You
opposite corner.
stay
I
in
could
this room?
Oh, you see, it's a slightly like it's probably the same size as Gertrude's was, but it's there's just like metal scraps and just like piles and like there looks like there's like a little like soldering station and it just looks like explosion of just creations.
Is there a mouse nest?
It's
Make it a bed.
it's my bed. Like in the like there's like a round windowsill and then there's just like a little like
One of those ferret hammocks.
yeah. Okay, so Galen Drench, I'm sure you guys have a ton of questions. I'm sorry, apparently my life is
Lara pulls out her
chaotic.
notebook.
We
If
had
I've
a
heard the
million
name.
questions, and now I've got a million more after coming to this orphanage now.
That makes-
Well, Lyra, show her the picture.
I'll show her the picture.
yeah,
Is that's him?
that's him.
All right, well, at least we know what we're up against.
And you know him.
Unfortunately.
How do you know him?
So
Does it have
When
to
I-
do with the serpent?
God, what serpent?
I saw a serpent.
What kind of serpent? Was it a ruby serpent?
Yeah.
Okay. So when I was younger, maybe, I don't know, 7 years ago, no one tells you that you're rolling with a bad crew. Or you don't listen because you're young and dumb. And I was rolling with a crew called the Ruby Serpent. And the leader was Galen Drench, that sleazeball, the backseat.
Pick it up.
Here he is now.
Sneak attack.
And yeah, I would just like do demolitions and we would do things and I didn't realize it was bad. And then one day we got sent on a job and he betrayed us. He set off an explosive and he's the reason that I've got this. And she's pointing at her metal arm and her tail and like how her whole right side is fucked up.
He gave you a metal arm?
No. He set off an explosive on us, and a pillar fell onto the entire crew.
Oh, I got it now. Okay, you made the metal arm after he took your other arm.
Yeah. So
you made your own replacement arm.
Yeah, I'm smart.
I mean, that's pretty fucking badass. I don't know.
But yeah, so I think he thinks I'm dead. I was the only one that survived, barely.
You're the only one.
Yeah. And I didn't think he was going to come back. Last I heard, he went real south.
So why is he invading Lyra's thoughts?
I don't know. Why is he invading your thoughts, Lyra?
I don't know. So he's a traitor?
Yeah. Last I heard, he was in maybe Hedge Hollow. It was the last place I heard him or heard where he was going. And I...
Hedge Hollow?
Mm-hmm.
I've never heard the name before.
It's far. It's far south. Too far to go for someone who needs to keep track of things here. But
I mean, how far south?
It's about south.
Thanks, real helpful.
And west.
I'm not sure. I really don't know.
And what is it you need to take care of here?
She kind of just gestures to the orphanage.
Well,
she was the protector.
Gamora seems quite capable. I mean, did she not kill that man in the lobby?
That's the first time I've ever seen that happen.
And let's talk about the man that Zvik so conveniently disposed of for us before he could be harvested.
Look, you weren't fucking here. Shit had to get done.
Well, I have a particular skill set. It might have taken a little more time, but I could have.
And I have a slightly more contradicting skill set.
So, who was the man? I saw a little bit of clothing on the leg and the arm that was not consumed yet. It looked familiar. One of the bandits that we encountered earlier.
Do you think they followed us into the city?
I don't know.
Jamora Gertrude, whatever her name is, said that she made a promise to your parents or something that she wouldn't let these children of Ash. What were they called?
Bandits of Ash.
Bandits of Ash wouldn't let them get here.
Bandits of Ash.
Do the Bandits of Ash have anything to do with that guy?
He was a bandit.
You would
Drench. There we go.
You would know that the Children of Ash are just like it's like a local. I don't want to say local gang, but like a gang type. So as where the orphanage takes on the orphans and raises them, they kind of make like the street rats. You know what I mean? Like the roving gangs around the city.
Okay.
So a rival gang.
Yeah, except the orphanage is not a gang, so I don't know why they're...
Oh, you're assassins, are you not?
Yeah, it would be pretty stupid to make the kids seem like a gang when they're assassins. Or that's brilliant. Make them look like just a bunch of Weasley...
Petty street dogs.
Gang members, and then have them actually be super high-level trained assassins.
That is what they would...
Around.
They're probably actually going to be. Yeah, see, they did it again. They are out of. Let's see. So Lou is now Yezin.
Again?
Yeah.
That's your lot, boy.
I could totally be Yezin.
There we go.
Oh, I'm Lyra now. Yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Tell me the future.
All right. So that took a fat dump, and it might do it again because I think something updated and it's not happy. So my encoder keeps shitting the bed. That's important. So here we are. So I have pretty much everything closed. And we're just gonna rip it. It's gonna rip it.
Rip it and rip it.
All right. So where do we leave off? Because I didn't. Well, actually, where did the chat leave off? Because we were talking for a while before I realized it fucking shit the bed.
Yeah. Where did we?
I don't remember what we were talking about.
Yeah,
Galen Drench. I'm looking at the memes to remind me of where we were. And I'm pretty sure it's Galen Drench.
I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna regret it.
There it is.
Crash.
Okay, so Snick was explaining the ruby serpent.
Right.
That's
the
right.
Bandits of Ash, and I think we were getting the lowdown from Snick. She's been at the orphanage for 19 years. She had to rebuild her own arm.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's kind of where we left off. Maybe. Yeah.
Don't just screw her over.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And
Yeah.
then-
So
Where we left off. We're good.
yeah, good. So you're just kind of filling that in, Galen Drench, the ruby serpent, and that he collapsed the bullshit on you, and he's the reason you had to modify yourself into the bad motherfucker that you are right now.
You're the sole survivor.
Half rat, half robot. All badass.
Mousebot? Mouseborg? Wait, what is it exactly?
A Mouseborg.
And then Yezin was talking about orphan assassins and Gertrude not being who she really is.
That's right. And you said you had to stay here to take care of things. That's why you couldn't go that far south.
Yes.
And Theo mentioned, well, it seems like, was it Jamora? What's her name? I wrote it down.
Yeah, Jamora.
Jamora seems quite capable.
Right. And that Galen Drench had headed south and west to Hedge Hollow.
Correct.
Yeah, right. Or at least that's what you heard Travis say. But Travis has not been there.
He's been busy being a good boy.
That's right.
So, what does this have to do with you? And he points to Lyra.
Me personally, I don't know.
Do you just constantly have visions like this? Because this has happened a couple of times in the past few days.
It's fairly new.
Fairly
say-
new.
Maybe since I got this, and she'll pull out her orb.
The orb.
The orb. So you see Lyra kind of pull out this milky orb. You saw her before, I think the first time.
Mm-hmm. No orbs at the table.
It was pulsing, yeah. So she'll pull out her orb.
Now, let me ask you, about when did you get this orb?
I would say maybe before I left for school.
Yeah, 8 or 10 months ago, and then to travel. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just kind of starting to act up, though.
Is it always this weird here?
Oh, it's
This is a different kind of weird.
It's gotten considerably weirder since you showed up.
It has. He ain't wrong.
Oh.
Yo, this little kid assassin ain't wrong.
Wait, who? What?
Do you not live here? I'm very...
I mean, you're not wrong, but but I don't live here. So, some connection. For some reason, Lyra has picked up on Galen Drench because he's getting closer. Maybe he's not in Hedge Hollow. Maybe he's getting closer. Now, we don't know why the bandit showed up here in particular.
Was that one of his goons? He looks to Snick.
I don't think so, unless he somehow is running them. But Children of the Ash is kind of like their own thing. Like they're their own little posse that runs around and causes problems.
It makes sense that they'd pick on orphans, probably trying to boost their numbers at some point, or
trying
reduce
to recruit.
competition. Yeah.
Trying to recruit, maybe.
That's why I stay here, to make sure that the kids stay away so they don't follow in the same footsteps that I did when I was young and dumb.
So, I'm going to go back to my question before. You've been here 19 years.
Mm-hmm.
You grew up here.
Yep. I was told I was left on a doorstep.
Sounds legit. But what about the rest? How long do they normally stay here? Do they leave after a certain age?
Do they leave after a certain age?
Yeah, how old are you?
Yeah, they just kind of grow up, and as they see fit, they kind of take off. Some stick around to help, but a lot of them they make their own way and become like workers somehow. You know, they make a living.
So yeah, some get adopted, some hit an age where they go do their own thing.
But they go out and about as trained assassins.
No, she said that she hasn't done that in a long time. And in my time being here, I've never seen assassin training. That's the first time I've ever seen her walk normal.
So she's really good.
Yeah,
So
she's deceived you your entire life.
Yeah.
Assassins are a particular skill set, very defined. But yet you seemed pretty accomplished at killing things.
Yeah, because you gotta be strong. I've seen some shit, so I just created things to keep myself and others safe.
And Jamora raised you, right?
Yeah, she's the person that I know, knows everything about me and knows. Yeah.
Did Jamora give you your first gun?
I made it myself. I made my first gun.
Did she give you the tools to do it?
I mean, she's supportive. I
don't think somebody running an orphanage would have it in their best interest to support somebody making weaponry of this caliber if this was a normal orphanage.
Caliber, I see what you did there, Yezin.
He's
That's
going
quite clever.
to pull out the handgun and go, I'm very proud of this. I don't think this means I'm an assassin. And on the side of it, it says burden. Just on the side of the gun.
What does it say?
Burden.
Burden.
And then this one, and she pulls off the bigger gun and unfolds it. This one is for when you need to get real dirty, and that one says blame.
I see. Is this a common thing, naming your weapons? You've named your daggers. He points to Travis.
Yeah, I mean, they take on a life of their own.
And have you always called your weapons blame and burden?
Yeah. It kind of fit at that point. Because, like, I didn't start out making awesome weapons like this. Like, they started off very small. Like, initially, it was just, like, a little potato gun. And then I, like, escalated to, like, I would shoot, like, little, like, ball bearings. And then they kind of just grew. And then when I was 13 and the accident happened, I felt terrible. And so that's kind of how these came about. Because I never wanted something like that to happen again. Because I lost a lot of really good friends.
Were the friends you lost also orphans from here?
No.
No.
Now, in retrospect, they probably weren't good friends. Like, the more I think about it, it was not a good situation for someone that young to be involved in that caliber of crime.
What was it? What was the job you were doing that ended up going south?
Stealing artifacts.
Sounds about right.
Stealing them.
Intercepting things for a gentleman at a museum.
No, I started working for him when I went straight.
But you were robbing him before that.
Not him specifically. You do what you have to survive. It is not great here.
So,
See that.
So would you say that at some point you were a bandit?
No, I was more of a contractor that they hired from time to time when they needed explosives work.
Right.
And then I don't know if I would say a bandit. Bandit sounds dirty and wrong.
Were you stealing stuff from cargo ships?
Not from ships. It was more from like the sites directly. And I wasn't doing the stealing. I was just blowing holes so the stealing could be done.
Oh, so you were
Sounds
a burglar.
like banditry to me.
Well, bandits, the connotation is that it's en route to where it's supposed to go, and you steal it while it's in transit. If you were stealing it from where it was being stored, that's more like burglary.
And like I said, I was just a kid. Like, I got involved with them when I was like 10. They were coming around recruiting, and just you fall in with the wrong people. But I always had a rule. No one was ever supposed to get hurt. Like, that was my one rule, is I would not do explosives if there was a potential of people getting hurt.
When you're working with explosives, there's always the potential for somebody getting hurt.
Controlled explosions. But, like, we'd go to the sites. Like, it wouldn't be, like, we wouldn't be blowing into, like, the museum. It'd be, like, one of the dig sites when there was no one around.
And Ma, you've grown.
Yes.
I've watched you blow a man off a ship earlier today.
Yes. And for the record,
Normally you got to pay extra for that.
I'm 19.
Good. We were curious that you were underage and we were taking you on our murderous escapades.
Didn't I take you guys to the bar?
I was referring to the skiff.
Oh, yeah, that's a normal day.
That's what I'm afraid of.
But yeah, okay, so that's enough about me and my drama. What are we doing? What is our plan?
Well, what were you getting ready for?
Yes.
Oh, she's like trying to hide all the weapons, like all the grenades.
Were you about to leave right now to go find Galen Drench?
Right
you
now?
have no idea where he is to try to kill him.
I
You just
wasn't.
take the druid.
Sounds like an assassin to me.
No, I'm not an assassin. I was gonna prepare myself in case he did show up. I haven't heard that name in a long time. I just wanted to make sure. And he knows where I live. Well, actually, no, he thinks I'm dead. So I have the element of surprise.
But sounds like an assassin to me.
But
Here,
yet,
back me up.
but yet, the other bandit showed up here.
Yeah,
So,
that doesn't normally happen.
Right. I'm not saying that, the two are connected, but it seems quite the coincidence, don't you think?
I hope not. I don't know. Lyra, what do you think? You're super smart and can see into the future.
Yes. What is the connection, Lyra?
Yes.
Everyone looks at you.
Yeah. Tell us now.
Everyone looks at you for an answer.
Clear. You must have a theory, Lyra.
I'm not sure. She'll just kind of like take
He's
her.
your orb.
Oh.
Ask it. It's your orb.
As he's saying that, she's holding it. She's still holding it in her hand when she took it out, and she's like, "What do you think I'm doing?"
But what's the connection then?
I don't know. I'm gonna try to use this.
Go do it.
Okay.
Give her some time, jeez.
Okay, God.
No, I don't wanna.
Not a face, Mom. God.
All right, shh, everybody. Let her concentrate.
Shh. It's working.
She's like closing her eyes. She kind of like opens her eye, like, shh. So Lyra will take her orb here, and she will try to foretell. And in Foundry, I cannot open my character sheet.
Oh,
Good.
good.
F5.
Good.
You gotta reload.
I did.
You have it up in D&D Beyond or no?
I do, but I'm not familiar with D&D Beyond.
The are you trying? Let me get. Hold on.
If you refresh, the
Right.
Foundry should work now.
Gonna lose characters for a second, so I can put this up top.
I can see it.
Oh, you can see it.
On
Okay,
D&D
good.
Beyond, look at it. So I will hold my orb, and you kind of see her hair start to float again. It's like my favorite thing. And she's going to attempt to activate the orb and use Pale Mind.
Tell us what that does.
I wish I could link it. So
In
Pale
Lyra's words, like what do you think it does? Like what does it feel like it does in Lyra's words?
I guess she kind of gets that same feeling again, but rather than forced upon her, she can kind of navigate her way through the milkiness of it, and there's kind of like a serene moment where she feels like she could potentially ask a question, and it would be answered.
Yeah, so you've seen your family. They've talked about being able to force the visions. Usually they're just kind of, you guys act like conduits. You try and channel it through you, but the more powerful you become, the better you are at looking into. It's almost like they've described it as you start to focus on the orb and all the milkiness of it swirling around, it's like you're transported to like on a small ship in that milky ocean with the fog around, and eventually the fog starts to part and you can ask questions and sometimes receive answers.
Lyra will attempt to ask a question.
What question are you asking?
Just, I guess because of the situation, Lyra kind of will ask, I don't know if it has to be like just like one specific question, but not out loud, but Lyra kind of in her own mind will ask, I guess she'll ask, where is Galen Drench?
Where is Galen Drench? Let's have the chat do.
Does Wani Johani like me?
Cool.
We'll have the chat do exclamation D20, and we'll see what the fates have decided. We'll see what kind of spooky web we're gonna weave here. Yeah, so all you have to do is just exclamation D20. Oh,
16.
Johnny Knob at the 16 coming in hot. So like before, everybody kind of sees the very, very light things in the room. Everything starts to kind of buzz and the edge starts to lose its weight. You know, everything starts to just kind of pick up a little bit. The real finite things, the dust starts to come off the shelves, and a little wire here, a nut and bolt over there. Everyone's hair starts to pick up. Now too, with your robes, where is the you had like a monogram stitched into your robes with the Pale Sister, like that, the Murdered Moon silk. Where did they put it?
Cuff, wasn't it?
What's that? Yeah, right on the cuff, like where in my right hand where I would hold the orb.
Excellent. So now you have essentially, so you have the one moon in your hand, the one moon on your wrist, and your ghost gem on your body was what, like your third eye between your eyes?
Yes.
So it's almost like a fog, but not quite. It's a very, very translucent fog starts to pour out of the orb, but there's no source. It just starts to appear, and each one of those, the orb, the symbol on your wrist, on the cloak, and the gem in your forehead all start to billow that same fog. You guys just see fog, but what you see, the fog it's almost like think of it as that same milky consistency. It starts to make shapes for you. And you see the shape of and colors too. They're very, very muted colors, but you can start to make them out. You see the ruby serpent, and you see a brass drake intertwined, fighting each other, and then you hear the name. And they're intertwined over the desert, and that's really all you can make out as you start to come back down. And it's instead of just being like last time where it was a big energy shift, this time it's a very soft, everything starts to land almost like a landing gear. Everything starts to settle real quietly.
A little bit more controlled.
But you take
That's good in the Discord.
I gotta stop watching the Discord while we're playing.
But you take 2 points of exhaustion.
Oof. So Lyra kind of settles down, noticeably tired. Did you say brass drake?
A brass drake.
Okay.
It looks oddly like the homunculus that Snick has, but instead of being mechanical, it's an actual brass drake.
So she kind of comes to, noticeably tired, a little bit drained, and Galen Drench is ruby, everything's kind of broken up. The ruby serpent, the drake, and she points to Snick's, how do you say, homunculus?
Homunculus, yeah.
And the brass drake, and the desert, and she's just kind of like, this whole place is desert. She's like the desert. That's all I could get. I don't think I have enough power for this yet.
I'm gonna hand her my water skin. Here, you look like you need this.
Oh no, I have plenty.
Yeah, I'll take a water.
Yeah.
So the best we got is the desert.
Yeah.
And we'll go to the desert.
So you said that the ruby, the serpents are your old gang. What does the drake have to do with it?
I've had my drake. I've had with me since this was originally a toy. Like I came to the orphanage with this drake. Wait, and then I'm gonna shuffle in my bag. I'm gonna pick up Amy, and there's like that dragon sigil in his chest, the like front-facing dragon. And I'm gonna pull up the picture that I scrubbed from inside the ruin. This was on him when I got him, and this was inside the ruin.
Does that look like what Lyra would have seen?
Yeah, it's it looks like a stylized brass drake, like a, I don't want to say caricature, but like an artistic rendition of a drake's face, like staring forwards. It's not menacing either. It's just kind of like a stoic brass drake, but it has resemblance to the one you saw.
What is that, another gang?
I don't know what this is. This was, I guess, something from my parents.
Listen, gang?
Maybe there's more inside that wyvern. And like Yezin pulls out like his pick, like ready, like we gotta find out.
Oh, I sent him to fly up into the rafters.
Well, there's got to be another clue.
We are not breaking open Amy.
Or maybe it's those ruins.
You said the symbol was at the ruins we're at too, right?
Yeah.
Not back.
Maybe we should ask Professor Atticus if he knows about this brass drake or whatever.
That is a good idea.
What's that, Lyra?
What about me?
What was that?
Oh, I said he does know a lot. Atticus.
He does know a lot. Maybe if Gertrude or Jamora knew your parents, does Professor Atticus know your parents?
If everyone's been hiding this from me, I'm going to go on a rampage, but we can find out.
The camera just zooms back to just the whole tower light into a big fucking plume of smoke. And it just says Finn. That's it. The end.
Snick slowly and methodically over the past like 19 years has been placing explosives all over the city.
I was born in the desert.
So yeah, I think we have some grilling of some old people to do.
Yes.
Probably rephrase that differently so Travis doesn't eat them, I guess.
Wait, is that real? I thought we were just joking.
Grilling is
really?
never a good idea.
Have you been eating people?
Where have you been?
Oh,
You're the one that vouches for him. I thought you knew. You made some sort of weird comment when Zveek was like swallowing that dude.
Didn't think he was serious.
I'm officially not the most fucked up person in this group. Yes!
Teddy's going to have a seat.
Honestly, I didn't think you were. Have you seen his fucking hat?
Wrong with his hat?
It's so big.
Yeah.
You're supposed to go anywhere with that.
Oh, my big brain.
I was going to say size doesn't matter, but...
It does. Everyone knows the taller a wizard's hat, the more prestigious.
Tallest hat wins.
Right.
Right.
Okay, so we need to form a plan of attack?
We're attacking Atticus now?
No, we're not attacking Atticus.
Oh.
It's an expression.
But clearly we need to learn a little bit more about the Brass Drake.
I think we asked Jamora first in the morning.
Yes, it is getting rather late.
I mean, you guys are welcome to stay here. If you don't want to walk all the way back, I can go grab some bedding from the closet.
Well, what ails you doesn't have a place to sleep, so...
Looks like we're all orphans now.
Speak for yourselves.
I'm kidding. My parents are alive and healthy.
Mine might be. We'll find out tomorrow.
Yes, now, thank you for your invitation, Snick, but I believe I'll be heading back to the museum.
You're going to sleep at the museum?
Well, yes, they have rooms with beds.
Mm-hmm. That's where I live.
Oh, yeah. You students.
A dormitory.
Yes. I have a room there.
Cool. So who's going where?
Yezin's just going to sleep here.
Yeah, Theodore's going to take his hat and head to the museum, or to the dorms.
I think Lyra would head back to the museum too, because that's basically where she lives. And that room is basically her pay, so she's not going to waste it.
Every penny of it.
Yeah.
Are you heading that way as well?
Yeah.
Well,
can you show me the way? Because I'm clearly lost here.
Yeah.
I'll stay here.
Well, it was lovely meeting you all.
We're going to see them again.
Are we?
Yeah.
Were you not planning on coming back?
We might be going to them tomorrow.
Yeah, honestly.
Yes, well, we'll see you in the morning then.
Oh.
Lyra just shakes her head like, this guy's kind of weird now. now I'm getting it.
Now, Lyra, do you have a special can just in case?
Yeah, I got one.
Okay. Got it.
You see Theo's like pleasantry smile just drop.
and you see Travis's smile widen.
Come on, we're leaving.
Theo.
Yes, Travis.
Sleep well.
You too.
He doesn't get it.
And Lyra's just like walking behind Teddy, just like taunting him, like pretending to like capture his dreams.
Alrighty, so
best joke ever.
It's so good. So with that, Teddy and Lyra head off to the museum. It's a pretty quick jaunt over there. It's not too far. Everyone's gonna bed down to sleep. Does anyone have I'll go around the horn, but as everybody goes to sleep, is there any specific dreams that they have that they haven't had recently? Is there any sort of new and unusual dreams that they have. And we'll start how everybody's on my screen on my the Zoom. Snick, do you have any specific new or continuing dream?
New dream: chasing two mouse figures, but not actually being able to see them or get to them.
Yeah, you're just kind of chasing through the city of the silhouette of two what look like wild folk mice.
Yep.
Perfect. Yes, and you're watching the movie play out in your blink dust, and every time you get to a corner, eventually you get to a wall, and as you hit the wall, we'll go to the next person. Nimbletooth, what do you have any different dream tonight or business as usual?
No, yeah, it's a new dream tonight, and the dream is basically watching like food just being completely consumed by fire, like every like and it's an enormous Sveek head, just like and just throwing bodies in, like,
oh my god, is he
like a funeral pyre, but it's Sveek's head. Like, what is this? It's a nightmare. This is the worst thing ever.
I cannot wait until he gets his hell form.
I know. Inferno Bond was such the right pick. Yeah. So you see that in your dreams, and the flames are the blink dust consuming all this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful raw meat. Yeah. Lyra, is there anything new for you?
I guess Lyra can have dreams. Nightmares. Something you get to her.
Yeah.
Just kind of pieces of what she saw in her little foretelling, and also maybe just like things just kind of like fading as she's having these nightmares, kind of going back and forth between the ruby serpent and the brass dragon and this Galen Drench. Everything just kind of like fading. Everything's like fading a little bit as well. Like she's like losing it a little bit. Like
you're trying to get everything to come into focus, but the more you try and focus on it, it gets hazier.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yezin, do you have a fancy dancy dream tonight or business as usual?
This is the same one he has like when he's like more drunk, and it's the being in the ruins in the sea of silt, and just like the dust flying as he sees just people who are like got some sort of weird something like digging into their skins as their like veins go crazy. And
yeah, totally. So it's almost like a rolling wave of sand with like people that are all like gross and deformed, and it's getting towards you, and you're trying to climb up out of this like chasm that you're in, and it's slowly getting closer, and then it's the typical like, wake up type sweating.
No sweat. He doesn't drink water.
It's just like little pebbles form and then just fall off.
Salt crystals.
It's just salt everywhere. Theodore, do you have anything?
Yeah, Theodore's going to have his recurring dream of being in some sort of library where they're like stealing the information off the books. Except this time walks in a dog man, a hooved dog man with a bullwhip. And he cracks the whip, and a horde of small cats with the head of Galen Drench just pour into the library, and each one of them individual is playing that soundbite. Galen Drench. Yeah, all of them in like a chorus as they go in and they shred the books, and then get out of there. He wants to go for them, but he's pinned in a giant mousetrap.
It's so terrifying. That's perfect.
That's Theo's fever dream.
Yeah, and as the last book is shredded, that's when you come to, and it's not even really a come to. It's more of just like a blink it away and focus back in on the day. Yeah, so you guys can get the effects of a long rest if anybody's hurt, or the exhaustion that might help, and get your spells back. kind of say everybody wakes up in the morning and does their morning preparations if they need it, and we can fast forward to after the preparations. You don't have to worry about being too specific. We could always do that during the week, but yeah, so we will when we wake up, let's start at the museum with Lyra and Theodore waking up. Your rooms are kind of pretty much right next to each other, and you can hear the familiar sound of bowls of oatmeal kind of being dropped in down the corridor.
Oh,
You're muted.
Muted.
Scream before. I'm gonna get up pretty early when I start to hear him come down the hallway, and I'm gonna try to catch him before he drops my oatmeal because I kind of want it today. I was pretty
Perfect. Yeah.
tired.
So he's kind of like clockwork, just a broken clock that's only right twice a day. So yeah, if you want to, you can make let's make like a athletics check to try and grab the bowl as it's flying out of his hands. See if you have the quick wits to snatch it up. I just can't see what it is because I'm
14.
terrified. 14. Yeah. So the bowls, it's almost like Groundhog Day too. There's like a stain where it hits every single time. So you kind of anticipate that and catch the bowl. You get a little bit on you, but nothing crazy. It's just on your hands. You can wipe it off.
Okay. And would I also be able to catch? Maybe he has one for Teddy also.
Yeah, he's going to now turn and start heading that way to put that one by the door. So we'll say there's 2 doors in between you. So he's setting it down on the one. As he sets it down, he actually kicks it. Half of it spills out. Goes to the next one. Goes to set it down. Gets it's stuck in his hands. His hands are all covered in it now. And then he's going towards Teddy's door. And now that he has nasty oatmeal hands, it's starting to slip out of his hand.
I'm gonna quickly cast that cantrip guidance on him. Maybe give him a little dex so he can set it down a little better.
Yeah, we'll go for it. What is it, D4? I believe.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, okay. Not too shabby, old boy. So he's so used to, he's starting to get into his own idiosyncrasy. So he knows it's a piece of cobblestone at this point where he trips over it, and that's where it smashes the oatmeal on this door. But you can see him going for it, and he trips, but somehow your guidance kind of rights his foot, and he just kind of catches himself. He's like, oh boy, well, that's never happened.
Who's there? You hear from the other side of the door.
Teddy opens the door, smacks it into the oatmeal, everything is flying.
You know what? We'll have the chat exclamation D20. 1 to 10, it's a push, or it's a pull door. 11 to 20, it's a push door. We'll see if it pulls or pushes. 16, it's a push door. So who's there? Do you open the door?
Yeah.
As you do that,
talking on the other side. Yeah.
You shoot the oatmeal. So he stumbles and he catches himself with the guidance, but he's right near the door. And then the who's there sends it flying across the room.
Oh, good morning, Carmichael.
I almost had that one.
And what?
It's nothing.
Will there be breakfast today?
It's in the courtyard.
Ah, very good. Thank you, lad.
He just puts his head down and scurries off.
Peter closes his door and sees the fucking oatmeal stain on it. Good morning, Lyra.
Lyra's down the hall like, hi. With her oatmeal. Oh, I'm good.
Okay.
I think yours is over there, and she points like on the floor.
Good one. And he heads down to the courtyard to go get breakfast.
Where the courtyard is there, right by the center of the rooms, that's where your ball had landed.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. He will pick up his bowl. and just get what he can out of it.
Yeah.
And head back.
There's still some because it did a tumble and it's pasty, so it kind of caught itself, but you got a quarter of the bowl at least, some sustenance.
So he will pick up the quarter of the bowl and just kind of eat some with his fingers and head towards Lyra. Good morning.
Morning.
Do you know where we could get more of this?
Yeah, I think so. Probably down in the kitchen. Probably have some more on the stove. And it's this way. She'll take him to the kitchen.
Along the walk, have you spoken to Master Atticus yet today?
No, I went straight to bed.
No word from the others?
Mm-mm.
No matter. Wonder what we'll get into today.
I wonder. And Lyra's just like, you see she's like visibly excited.
As you exchange pleasantries, you get towards the kitchen, and you can see they're kind of automating themselves. The dishes are picking themselves up and scooping themselves and filling themselves.
Oh, you got muted.
Uh-oh.
You're cutting out. Just me?
Oh,
No, I can't hear him either.
Okay.
Microphone has changed. There we go. Yeah, my microphone just quit out of Zoom and then reinstalled itself.
Sick.
Are you okay?
I'm on drugs.
Mondays.
Let's play on Mondays, guys.
Yeah. Fuck me.
I got my brand new iMac.
Carmichaeled myself. But yeah, so the kitchen is kind of automated, making its own bowls of porridge, and they're stacking them on the center table, so you can just take them as you like.
I'll definitely grab my own.
They should just have these, bring them up to their rooms. I don't know why they're still making Carmichael do this.
Yes. It's not that much of a burden. I suppose they're keeping him busy. He is cursed, you know.
You gotta see something.
So what will you be doing today?
Well, I think the others will probably be coming here soon to speak with Atticus.
And they'll be heading south or to the desert or something?
Depends on what Atticus is.
Hmm.
I wonder if he's up.
Yes, we should go
He's
see.
definitely up.
Likely. I'm curious to see what he has in store for me today.
As you
I'm
go,
just nodding her head like, this guy.
this guy, these guys with
This
the thing.
guy.
Galen Drench has stolen all of my goods. Denny's like, shit, I gotta change it now.
Just start erasing shit real fast. Yes,
It's so oddly specific.
as you get to, so his main quarters are actually fairly close to the kitchen. He's got a little sweet tooth, so he's strategically placed. But you get to the door, and it seems to be locked up. You can peer inside too. There's like a little curtain, and there's no one inside.
Looks like he's up and at him already.
Ah. Head to his office then.
Yeah, same thing. Nobody in the office. Doors open.
Check the bathroom.
Maybe
Room to room.
maybe he's already down in the museum.
Oh, maybe. Take my bowl of oatmeal and waltz with Lyra.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you get down to the museum, and they have all the relics that you guys had found kind of just spread out on the floor, and they're cataloging a lot of them. And you see historian Katani from the dig. She had just gotten there in the middle of the night. She's like fixing her glasses, and the quill's writing itself as she's pining over all these things.
Ah, Mistress Katani, good morning.
Oh, hello.
Quite the haul you have here. Anything of value?
Oh, all of it's valuable. It's history. Some of it Not as old as the others, but still valuable.
I suppose you see a lot of that.
No.
No,
You don't.
you don't have people like Bobos living in the ruins.
It kind of, now that you say it, it kind of looks like that. There's like 20-year-old garbage mixed with like century and century and century old ruins.
Any religious artifacts?
We have to find that out yet.
Have you seen Master Atticus?
He was muttering to himself and had to go out into the town today. I don't know really which way he went. He picked up his things pretty early and took off.
I see.
This is strange, though. All the new pieces of equipment and discarded garbage have this on it, and she kind of like folds over, like draws back what would be like a drop cloth protecting some items, and it's the picture of that brass drake's head.
Oh, fuck me.
And with that, we'll cut back over to the orphanage. So you guys wake up, you did your, preparations for the day, so you're ready to rock and roll.
Did Jamora make us some nice breakfast?
No. The jig is up.
All right, so there's no breakfast being cooked for anyone?
The kids have started it. They've taken over, but Jamora's definitely in a room. You could hear like rummaging and like drawers being open and closed. You could hear the murder. You could hear drawers being open and closed and like chests being open and unlocked.
Is Jamora trying to cut and run?
Hope not. We're gonna find out. Knock, 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 knock.
Come in.
Hey, let's go. What are you doing?
Getting you answers. And she's like pining through a couple. So there's like slats in the floor where you see she's like pulled open a slat and taken a book out of there, like a ledger, and put the slat back. You could see the clear dust marks of where she had like taken the slat out, taking it out, the ledger up there where you've never seen before, and putting the slab back by where all the dust is settled. So things like that.
I've seen you using a broom so much. Why is there still so much dust?
I live in the desert. in a shanty orphanage.
Zeke is standing 5 feet behind you.
Just with sand pouring out of his head.
Yep, exactly. Yeah.
So, there are many questions. Who are my parents? Let's start there, because that seems kind of fitting to maybe help us a little bit.
Who is my daddy and what does he do?
Who is your daddy and what does he do?
I don't know real names.
No real names in the business, huh? My accent changed again. I'm kidding. No, that was on me.
She's like rubbing her temples.
Okay, so what information do you have for me? Like, are they alive? Are they dead? Like,
That's complicated. I don't really have an answer for that as well.
Okay. Broader question. What information are you looking to give us?
All right. Do you know what the Brass Drake Society is?
No?
Awesome band.
Yeah, that's our Green Day ska covered band. Do you know what the Ruby Serpent is?
You know I know what the Ruby Serpent is.
Do you?
I mean, I know they're a sleazeball gang. I don't...
So, the city of Tel Ralad, when it was before it was being what it is today, to quell uprisings, the leadership made a intelligence group, I guess you could call it. The Ruby Serpent. They would just mull around in everyday society, taking as much information as they could, and essentially cutting the head off the snake before it turns into an issue. So, naturally, there needs to be a balance. We can't just let them do what they want unchecked, so we formed the Brass Drake Society as a counterintelligence.
I can't help but notice you said we. Who's we? How old are you? Like, now there's more questions for every one that you answer.
By we, do you mean Snick's parents?
Amongst hundreds of others, yes.
Snick, looks like you're a legacy of something.
How can I be a legacy? They didn't even want me.
Not true. Not true. The best way to keep you safe was to keep them as far away from you as possible.
And they brought you to...
Oh, fuck, he said... Oh.
Maybe they knew exactly who they were bringing you to.
I was getting along in my years. I was getting ready to hand the torch down, so I offered to look after Snick in the meantime while they continued to do what they needed to do.
No further questions.
Is the BDS still a thing?
As far as I know, I purposely have removed myself from it.
I'm gonna pull out the paper. Is this their symbol?
It is. The symbol that's on your Drake, which was probably a terrible idea thinking back now.
Kind of weird having some sort of secret society and then just putting your symbol everywhere.
On a children's toy?
Well,
branding.
It was subliminal. You didn't know.
You'd pass it 100 times, you wouldn't know anything.
Yeah, you didn't know.
Hey, I just don't know anything.
Touche.
You know one thing, Yezin.
What's that?
You know how to ruin meat.
I know how to make it delicious. What are you talking about? Nothing better than that nice layer of carbon on the outside.
So, Snick. You think maybe we join the others? Maybe they've learned something.
Yeah. Is there any way to contact the Brass Drake Society? Like, if we needed to?
Not that I know of.
What were you looking for to give to Snick? I feel like that's going to have some importance to help, right? Or did you already get it?
What do you mean?
She was looking for something to give to Snick, right?
You're saying, well, she was just pining over things, but yeah, she pulled out a book that was obviously hidden, and she hadn't tried to cover it up yet, so you could see she pulled it from the floorboards and is going through it.
Yeah. Is that a family heirloom, perhaps?
I wouldn't say family heirloom. Just take this to the basement. And she gives you a small little brass key.
secret rooms. I like where this is going.
Okay. Yeah. All right. We're gonna go to the basement.
Let's do it. Let's crack open that door.
Okay. I didn't even know there was a door down there. To the basement.
Fucking Clue style.
Yeah, so you get down to the basement. It's like a root cellar, more than a basement. It's kind of hand dug out and crappy. And down here, in Old Town, it's where all the wash up from the shore was. So instead of being like as sandy, it's a little more muddy. It's got a little more texture to it, a little rocky too. It's a lot of the tailings from when they dug the Kashin Strait. So it's just like gross. It always smells down here, and whenever you bring food up, it kind of has that lingering taste to it too.
Ooh, that must.
That musk in my plums. Yeah, so you get to the basement, and it's actually fairly large compared to the size of the orphanage, but you figure, gotta have a big storage for food for all these kids. So yeah, make an investigation.
Make a basement check.
Make a basement check. You make an investigation check.
Is that all of us, or
just kind of as you get down there, or you can do perception, whichever you want to.
Oh, I'll do perception. I'm better at that.
Pitch to me.
12 on investigation.
What did Yezen get?
Oh, I got a 15.
15. You both notice a cask in the corner with a brass drake symbol on it.
Nothing to see here.
It's
Should I crack it open?
It's very, very faint too. Like on the steel band of the barrel holding it together, it's a old, like dilapidated, rusty drake that's kind of almost worn off.
Is there a keyhole?
Do you investigate the barrel?
I investigate the barrel.
Yeah.
Roll a barrel check.
Roll a barrel check.
It's a mimic.
There's actually, there's the barrel kind of gives a little bit. It almost seems like the barrel is kind of attached to the plank on the wall.
Oh. Guys, give me a hand moving this. I am not strong.
Yezen will try to move the barrel.
You're doing great, Snick.
Really?
It's fairly easy. Once you kind of figure out which way it goes, it kind of pulls out towards you first and then slides over.
I'm so strong.
Yeah, you are.
And so behind the barrel, there's it's kind of hard to you haven't seen anything like this before. So it's a wrought iron gate, like a very, very ornate, like black wrought iron gate. And usually where you'd be able to see through the spaces, it's just void, like a dark blue weird shimmer to it. But on the gate is a key.
Great. I will open that bad boy up.
It's real hard to get in at first, because you tell that a lot of stuff is settled in this lock, and you give it a good twist, and the gate opens up, and the haze starts to fade, and you kind of see in. And next week we'll pick up from where you see into the secret room.
Oh no!
Son of a bitch.
Oh,
God,
It's a greasy cat.
Oh, no.
you've teleported into Galen Drench's butthole. Oh fuck! Hopefully,
Blow an orifice check.
So hopefully next week all the tech issues are sorted out and we'll figure that the fuck out. Because
absolutely not.
No, definitely not.
Nah.
Let me move them. You won't see them for a second. Let me move this over here. 1 second. All right, let's find somebody to raid that hopefully has much better luck with Twitch today. Really, I think what it is, something's going on with my graphics card. Fucking OBS is.
Don't worry, they're
out.
cheap. You can get a new one.
Yeah, and they're really easy to get.
Oh yeah, cheap and easy. Sign me up. All right, let's see who's playing D&D. Cirque du Fey, Wild Beyond the Witchlight. We might have to do that just on principle because it's the Feywild.
Cirque du Fey, yeah.
Cirque du Fey. That is Magi RPG. It's going to be / RPG. Let's see if that worked. Cool, raid has been created. Yeah, so next week we'll find what kind of bullshit's behind door number 1.
Yeah. We did it, guys. We found door number 1.
Door number 1.
We got to it.
You did it, guys. It's door number 2 is behind door number 1. All right, I'm gonna send you guys over to
Worm Squad.
Worm Squad.
Yeah.
All right, go worm these bad daddies up. Okay, bye.
Bye. Later.
Ah, fuck my life. Let me shut this down.